If you needed any more evidence that we are well into Donald Trump's era of fascism coming to America, look no further than President Donald Trump looking for absolutely any reason underneath the sun that he can find to deport anybody that he decides is an undesirable person to have in our country, including their tattoos that definitely have nothing to do with gangs, including tattoos that someone got for autism awareness. That's right. In Donald Trump's America in 2025, the unthinkable is happening. People are being disappeared out of the country because of ink on their skin. But before we look at that, I'm Max Lopez. This is the Blue Wave. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, let me know what you think about this story, and share with someone who's into politics. It helps the algorithm out a lot. This is an article from New Republic. It says, the biggest scandal of the second Trump term isn't Signalgate. The national security chat debacle certainly merits attention, but the Trump administration is now blatantly disappearing students and others who are legally in the country. On March 26, 2024, Rumasaya Öztürk, a Turkish PhD student at Tufts University, co-authored an op-ed criticizing the university's response to student demands for divestment from Israel, which was published in its student newspaper. Credible accusations against Israel include accounts of deliberate starvation and indiscriminate slaughter of Palestinian civilians and plausible genocide, the authors wrote, referring to Israel's disproportionate attacks to Hamas's October 7th attacks. Aside from its focus on Tufts, a small private college outside of Boston, it was hardly different from a lot of writing published in student newspapers across the country over the past 2 years. For that matter, it was little different from a lot of writing published in mainstream publications, including the New Republic. On Tuesday, as captured on video, a half dozen masked agents of the Department of Homeland Security ambushed Öztürk as she left her Somerville apartment to meet friends. She was surrounded, cuffed, led into an unmarked car, and driven away, apparently for the crime of having co-authored that op-ed. Despite a court order blocking authorities from removing her from Massachusetts without advance notice, she was flown to Louisiana, where many other visa holders like herself have been critical of Israel are being held, such as Columbia University student Mahmoud Khalid. Masked agents snatching legal residents off the street and disappearing them not so long ago. This would be unthinkable in the United States. Now is it not only a regular occurrence, but something that the Trump administration boasts about. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson claimed that Öztürk engaged in activities in support of Hamas, adding, glorifying and supporting terrorists who kill Americans is grounds for visa issuance to be terminated. But DHS has provided no evidence that Öztürk supported Hamas. Indeed, the group is not mentioned in the offending op-ed. So here we have a student being revoked from their visa being revoked and then being deported because of them exercising their freedom of speech protected under the First Amendment in speaking out against Israel. And, you know, what I want to know right now is, where are all the people that were just, decided to stay home in the election in 2024 and decided not support Harris because of her supposed support of Netanyahu in Israel? And look no further than Michigan, right? There was 160,000 some people who protest voted in the Michigan primaries against Biden when he was in the primary, and 160,000 people in Michigan voted against the Democrats because of their stance on Israel. But now what's Trump giving us here? Trump's giving us deportation of people that speaking out against Israel. Trump's giving us an administration that is much more closely aligned with Netanyahu than I believe Kamala Harris's administration would have been. That's a bit besides the point. Now what we're going to look at here is a man who was deported because of his tattoos. Head on over here to unilad.com, where it says, man deported to world's worst prison after tattoos are mistaken for something else, as family explains true meaning. The family of a man have come out to reveal that the tattoos of the relative that were used to deport him actually have a very different meaning. Franco Jose Calabero Tapia, a Venezuelan asylum seeker, was deported as part of U.S. President Donald Trump's bid to rid the nation of those who illegally immigrated or those who have immigrated and committed crimes. However, while the 26-year-old was shipped off to El Salvador by the Trump administration on grounds that his ink proved that he was part of a gang, his family states otherwise. On his body, he has a tattoo of a rose, one of a lion, and a razor blade on his neck that represents his work as a barber. He also has 2 tribute tattoos for his eldest daughter, Shalom, which includes a pocket watch featuring the time of her birth and black letters on his chest that spells out the toddler's name. Caraballo was accused of being a member of Venezuela's most notorious gang, Tren de Agrua, because of his ink, but the father of two's family and his lawyer disagree. He's just a normal kid. He likes tattoos. That's it, said Martin Rosenow, the attorney who represents Caraballo. When he was detained by U.S. immigration officials in Dallas last month, it is said that they used his tattoos as a way to identify him as a gang member and shipped him off to one of the world's worst prisons. An official Department of Homeland Security document, which was issued in February and reviewed by The Guardian, shares details of his detention and deportation, claiming that he is part of the gang. It states that Caraballo had been identified as a member of Tren de Agrua. However, it does not explain how agents concluded their assessment of him. That article has a few different typos there. That's a little hard to read. So Donald Trump's just quite literally just making up reasons to deport people, right? You have some tattoos. Those are gang-related tattoos. Never mind that they're actually tattoos that are tributes to family members and a tribute to this man's profession as a barber. None of that matters, right? In the post-truth era that Donald Trump has brought to America, where he can just make up any reason to deport anyone. And tattoos will definitely be used as a reason that you could be deported out of this country illegally. Now, let's look at another one here where it says Trump sends innocent man to El Salvador for having autism awareness tattoos. Trump administration unlawfully deported a Venezuelan man due to a autism awareness tattoo that officials baselessly claimed was gang affiliated. On March 15th, Trump authorized the illegal expulsion of hundreds of Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador and Honduras, despite a court order telling him to halt all operations until the accused receive a trial, insisting every immigrant aboard the 3 aircrafts were dangerous gangsters of Tren de Agrua organization. Trump maintained his decision to disregard the order from a federal judge was the right call. However, the sister of Neri Jose Alvarado Borges, a 24-year-old Venezuelan descent, deported to El Salvador this month, said relatives suspect that ICE officials used his tattoos, one showing the name of his autistic brother and another showing a rainbow-colored ribbon of the autism acceptance movement, to justify his illegal ousting from the United States. Family members confirmed Alvarado Borges was not a criminal, None of these tattoos has anything at all to do with Tren de Agrua, said his sister, Liz Ben-Girth Montilla, 20. But for them, immigration authorities, anyone with a tattoo is connected to Tren de Agrua. So we're in the post-truth era where Trump is making up reasons to deport people. And where do we draw the line? Where do we say, no, Donald Trump, no, ICE, you must provide evidence that proves beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law that these tattoos do in fact link these individuals to being a part of a violent gang. We can't just take Donald Trump's word for it. We shouldn't take Donald Trump's word for it, given what these family members are saying, that these people's tattoos are completely harmless. They're completely have nothing to do with any kind of gang activity. And really, what this is Trump deporting people immigrating here, trying to build a better life for themselves, because Trump hates everything that makes our country great. He says he wants to make America great again. Well, I have some news for you, Donald Trump. Immigrants make this country great. Immigrants have made this country great since we became a country. Immigrants built the infrastructure of this country. Immigrants built the railroad that spans from East Coast to West Coast. Immigrants are the best that America has to offer in many cases. And it needs no saying that Donald Trump's wife, in fact, is an immigrant, as well as J.D. Vance's wife is an immigrant. So what are we doing here? What are we doing where we're deporting people because of tattoos? Because Trump says that they're related to gang activity? And we're going to just take his word for it and let people be disappeared by the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds? No, we're not. We're not going to do that. We are going to call out the illegal activity that this administration is partaking in. And really, Trump needs to be fought against in every single way when he is turning our country into a country that is much more fascist than freedom loving, and much more fascist than democratic. And we're seeing Trump do that. It must be called out. This is not normal for people to be disappeared in the United States of America without due process, without the right to a trial. It's in the Constitution, right? So again, this is just the latest example of our country slipping into fascism at an alarming rate, and something really, really needs to be done about it. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with someone who's into politics, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.